it's hard for people to come together. It's really hard because some people don't want it. And anytime you find somebody trying to find an excuse not to come together when the murder rate is where it is, something wrong with that. Get on board with a call to oneness. I ain't scared. We got the right one this time.
From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness.
Keep the block hot. They won't stop until you drop. Seldom of natural causes, normally by thugs and ballers, night crawlers and brawlers. Beat our sons and pimped our daughters. Warriors line up in all quarters. It's time for war. Settle on scores, moors and all shores. Ghetto kids and gang lords all aboard this underground railroad like Harriet Tubman. I'm trying to say the freest rhymes ever published.
No justice, no peace committee here to bring the heat. Big spinning for the street. How you claim the block but don't own the real estate? Hustle around the clock with no child support pay. Fathers teach boys, that's how men get raised. The highest power get praised. Help me go against the grain. Independent, no chains. Come together, use our brains. On these tracks, maintain. Keep it moving like trains from the clean town, man.
To an event horizon, thoughts go forth like blazars. When cops get away with murder under these modern day laws, we glorify genocide and things we can't afford. Anything a substance in the community, we ignore it. Yeah, I talk a lot about God, a lot about fraud, even more about change, but a lot of that's hard. You know, a man ain't a man if he can willingly leave his fam. So build the universal self, then understand.
They taking everything they can, we still giving. It's Malcolm and Martin shaking hands and still living. In other words, healing the sickness of a system. The building prisons, we feel them, it's real, just listen. To every man on this track, we all leaders. The queens and seeds, cause we know they all need us. Public speakers united, you know you can't beat us. Join us as we break these chains so we can free us.
Slum beautiful, young juveniles with dirt under their cuticles is nothing unusual. Where I come from, the east side, where from knee high, it's a constant jihad. We fighting ourselves, we fighting the cops, we fight for the block. Stop. Look around and cut out all the dumps. Loose screws in the crew is calling for some oneness.
From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness.
Too much dividing us like religious beliefs. Democratic Party got us in between the sheets. A black family now got one parent short. Light-skinned blacks treated better than the dark. Our education system need to be uprooted and need to get booted. Some are march, some are fight and go to jail. By any means necessary, we gotta prevail.
It's a call for oneness, UNIGY. Your presence alone should be motivation for your own elevation. Mental decapitation of a nation got us locked in this impoverished mental situation. Cerebral plantation got us hating on unification. Atonement, love and respect your brothers and sisters like you love yourselves. Atonement, yeah, that's what we need, but we gotta do more than just march. We gotta take you to the home, schools, and streets.
I wanna march with a million blacks. Been the truth from the start, I spit a million facts. My sister 14, my mother still deal with crack, but I love her like she Oprah. Yo, how real is that? I know this brother doing life, the system against him. He say he didn't do it, so it's like they tryna lynch him. Rather take him out instead of trying to strengthen him. Before you kill him, think about somebody gonna miss him.
Half man, half panther, full-blooded gorilla. Either deal with the deal or deal with the dealer. I'm cut from a different cloth, it's all in my blood. One of few good men about gorilla love. Peace when possible, violence when necessary. BQ, but represents the legendary. In our community, strength and family unit become one with God, grant spiritual immunity. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness. From we shall overcome to we shall overrun this. This is a call to oneness.
And like
Let me leave that right there. Yeah.
like say, and watching the news, like say, I caught a Fox piece. I can't think of her name, but she had nerve to say that now the bullies are of brown and non-Caucasian descent because they want to tell us we should do this and we should do that. And I just think that's racism. And I'm like, okay, you just said that, but for years, like you said, y'all been saying this is the right way, this is the wrong way, and everybody went along with it. And they forget about going into people's houses and pulling people out their houses. And if that starts going the opposite way, then it's really gonna be anarchy. But that's just the way that, again, you being who you are is trying to teach people who are willing to listen that everybody has to choose which way they want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, having examples always help. And we've had some tremendous African American leaders that are part of our historical makeup. And if we kind of just glean from them that even in historical protests, Cecil, it was done in a nonviolent way.
Yes, sir.
Because there is something that's sacred about the human makeup. And when God is with you, it's one of the major responsibilities to demonstrate that incarnationally, that to hurt another human being,
yes, sir.
to be violent toward another human being is just not the message of God. And so for those of us who've been oppressed and disenfranchised and denied our human rights in the country that is ours, that Black people built.
Yes, sir.
Just as we were determined and had fortitude then, nothing has changed in that instance. And I think we're at a point now where we have this opportunity to set the movement right, to set the tide right, so that we can really start to learn how to live together. I wanna also say that that we got some tremendous allies in white people as well, which was seen with the George Floyd murder.
Yes, sir.
By the officer Derek Chauvin, that white allies saw. It's amazing that in Alabama, it was not until there was a taping, a video of the policemen and their brutal mentality of turning those water hoses on those Black people. It was not until that became a visual, as well as Derek Chauvin's knee on the neck of George Floyd was a visual, that our white brothers and sisters started to see the impact of the oppression that was being forced upon Black people, because those who were the oppressors had the power to do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And once it's seen, you can't see it and then not see it.
Yes, sir.
I don't care how you try to cover it up. I don't care how you try to turn Black Lives Matter into something that is saying something other than Black Lives Matter. Black lives do matter.
Yes, sir.
And those of us who say that, we are fully aware already that all lives matter.
Yes, yes, sir.
We're
yes,
not
sir.
saying that other lives don't matter, because Black lives matter. That Black lives are also a part of the human predicament with which that needs to be understood and Black bodies respected.
Yes, sir.
And so Black lives do matter. The counterpart with that was that Blue lives matter. I haven't seen a blue person, so they was talking about the police who looked as if they were being attacked when that was not it at all.
Yes, sir.
And fate would have it that blue lives had a chance to be respected when the Capitol was stormed.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
we discovered that people who are afraid of their power vanishing pay no attention to any color. They just want power to proceed with the agenda that they have historically had. And so we had as bad as it seems, we had a great place, Cecil, you and I and others are looking in to really start to move toward the change that we've been seeking for a long time. Now, even if it doesn't happen in my lifetime, I'm encouraged to be able to pass a mindset on to the next generations that will continue this worthwhile struggle. That recently they talked about what's going on in Afghanistan. It kind of is all consuming in the news right now, and how to get out of this 20-year war in Afghanistan. And everybody making noise about that until they discovered that one of the places that the Afghanis would land is in your community, your local community. And then they changed the tune. We don't want these desert bums living in our community. But that has been the struggle of America, which is defined by the constructs of race.
Yeah.
And that's a conversation. I mean, we could be talking about this for forever because it's been happening forever.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And not to talk about it is to really disadvantage yourself.
Yes.
Because you trying to say kumbaya, come by here, Lord, and deny the fact that there is some unresolved tension.
Yes, sir. And Pastor, to piggyback on, like you said, movement-wise, 2008, there was a movement. You and other brothers got together and the Call to Oneness movement, which I had a conversation with someone and they were talking about how we need to get back, trying to get our young boys to feel powerful and to feel a part of what's going on. And I thought about that, saying that 2008, we did a Call to Oneness, and 2008, some other movements for men were coming out, and then it fizzled out to Black girl power and Black girl magic. And I'm like, it's amazing that we the like you said, we've got the regular Caucasian movement, the LGBT movement, Black Girls Matter, but as far as Black men, it seemed to be a fizzle. Now, first of all, how did you come by with the Call to Oneness back then?
That's a great question, Cecil. Thank you for lifting that. That in 2008, if I recall, St. Louis was one of the leading cities in homicide, at least top 5. Me and several other brothers got together to address that issue specifically. It was really a moment. It was not intended to be a movement. There's so much more that goes into a movement, but we thought that if we could give some attention to the issue of crime or the issue of homicide in our community, then it would go a long way in helping others become aware that we could do so much better. And so that was the initial understanding of a call to oneness, a call to one, and it reached to every organization, mattered not your religious affiliation, or if you had none. It had everything to do with bringing the community together, to make us aware that we had more that could unite us than ever could divide us, if given an opportunity to be placed in a room where we could start this conversation and start to see the uniqueness that was associated with the beauty of our Blackness, the many shades of our Blackness, the many different places that we had come from, to share our experiences, whatever they were, to start to talk about how the system was designed to pit us against each other, to get others to see who had no concept of Christian education, to be able to talk to brothers, and you, as you well know, it even included sisters, about how we thought that the Black church was still the stabilizing force in our community. And if it had become derationalized or radicalized, how can we, being the Black church in the Black community with all of the issues facing Black people, how can we regain our radicalization? And as a result of that, a white European theology was examined, and we started to see ways in which white European theology was pulling the teeth out of the mouth of people who could speak truth to power, that was compromised in such a way and masqueraded in the tune of love, which was not love at all. It was the 8 white clergy all over again, saying to Martin Luther King in the protest in Birmingham, that published a letter of why it wasn't time for there to be Black protests led by Martin Luther King, whom they called an outsider.
Yes, sir.
And so we got a chance to see the effects of white European theology in our context, and how theirs was really the song of Rodney King. Why can't we just get along? Well, hell, how am I supposed to just let you keep denying me my humanity?
Yes, sir.
And so a call to oneness was a call to unite our community. And that was a great weekend. It was not a movement. It was a moment. Some thought it should have been a movement, but movements take in a different place, and it requires structure that other organizations that initially bought into that weekend would have had to do some serious reassessments about if they could continue in that. Because now, if you're talking about it being a movement, you start to infringe upon certain concepts that they have with running their organization. So whatever came as a result of that, I think we were blessed to do our part on that weekend. We had over 25,000 men. I'm not sure the exact number. It's been said anywhere from 25,000, 55, 60,000 men that marched with us on that.
Yes, sir.
On that Sunday afternoon from our community. And the beauty of it was that our mothers and sisters and daughters were on the sideline cheering us on. That was just a great
Yes,
week.
sir.
That was just a marvelous. And if we never get a chance to do it again, God gave us that moment.
Yes, sir.
Where we can look back and see that all things are possible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When we lay aside certain things that would attempt to divide us. That's why I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful today that there's a lot of good things that's coming. And even if I don't get a chance to see it, Cecil, I just feel it in my bones.
Yes, sir.
That it's coming. Yeah. Don't be weary in well doing. You shall reap if you faint not.
Yes, sir. And
Yes,
again,
sir.
yes, sir. And again, in that moment, that was part of a speech you gave when you were talking to the brothers, and you stated, "I don't care what you look like, what you're wearing, what you're doing. We want to let you know we love you." That right there, Pastor, I believe was a word that they hadn't heard from a man, stating that I ain't trying to judge you. I just want you to understand somebody's here for you. And that goes along with the song that Pastor Shadrach did, called the one that song was I'm your brother, I'm here for you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I said that movement sparked, like I said, it connected so many different people and sparked so many different things. But again, you received and the organization received so much flack from people of the community about that, and I mean you kept going forward. How is it when you have people who you think are hope would join in for something that they see as positive, don't want to help but want to cause more issues?
Fear. Yeah, fear. And with fear comes distrust. And yeah, I think you have to understand that so many that were under the umbrella of Christendom, who are my brothers and sisters, whom I love dearly to this day, had never worked with other people who were not a part of the religious organizations. So when you start to talk about being in concert, being in step with the Black Muslims and those who were atheists, that presents some intimidating factors, because you already know that what you believe is totally opposite to whom you asked to walk with. But this was not an exercise in conversion. Nobody was trying to convert anybody to anything. A call to oneness was our attempt to move us to a place where even if we had a differencing in understanding and then articulating what was our belief system, one thing we had in common was our humanity.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that was the point that I kept trying to make, to bridge that gap between the divide that was really, after you think about it, was a way that the system wanted us to be divided. That In many instances, and I hope when I say this, it's understood, in many instances, the Black Muslim movement in America, specifically in our community, had everything to do with pushing back on white Eurocentric brainwashing of people who had sold out for everything that was meaningful that was white. Santa Claus was white. Yeah, this white man coming down a chimney that we didn't even have in my house to bring us something that we would enjoy. That all of the power structuring that had deliverables for my family and other families in our community was brought to us by white people. And then lo and behold, they're hung on the wall in our house, Jesus. And I'd be damned if he wasn't white, with blue eyes and long hair. And so all of those psychological underpinnings weighed heavily on our being disconnected from brothers who had an understanding of Blackness that some, not all, but some in the Christian faith didn't have. And that kind of psychological challenging made what we were trying to do problematic, because so many of our brothers and sisters who were of the Christian church just couldn't find their way to walk in lockstep with people who hadn't confessed Jesus as Lord and Savior. And I understand all that, and I'm not casting blame anywhere. This is just a part of the conversation that was happening during that time. And the big picture, Cecil, was I think it pushed a lot of people to start to understand how big God was. And God was bigger than the storefront thinking that you had housed down through the years personally. See, when you lead the nation in homicides, there ain't nothing to talk about. The discussion is over.
A call to oneness, a call to unity, a call to love each other, a call for you and me. Listen to the cries, listen to the needs. Instead of hearing war, can we hear the sounds of peace? We can't go on this way. We have got to make a change. Together we stand and divided we fall. It's time to heed the call. You're my brother, I'm here for you. Let's be one. A call to be real fathers, a call to be real men, a call to be real brothers, a call to take a stand. We can save our future, but we must decide want to hate and let die. We can't go on this way. No, we have got to make a change. Together we stand and divided we fall. We must heed the call. You're my brother, I'm here for you. Let's be one. Yeah, yeah. A call to oneness, a call to do what's right, a call to stop the hatred, a call to reconcile. Listen to the rhythm of the return of our men. We're committed soldiers, we won't stop till we win. We can't go on this way. We have got to make a change. Together we stand and divided we fall. We must heed the call. You're my brother, and I'm before you. Let's be one. Yeah. You're my brother, I'm here for you. Let's be one.
XP Music.